This is practically just a barely edited commentary video with some background footage. There will be timestamps for segments, and if you want to read it rather than listening to it in the background, the entire script will be the pinned comment of this video. Anyway, enjoy the video, and enjoy the guide, and enjoy your pain and suffering that you'll do in Blue Simulator. Alright, I'm assuming you're here due to the fact that you're struggling in Blue Simulator and really just don't know what to do. And so I'm here to help you with your struggles, give you some tips and tricks, and give you many things you need to know in order to beat this minigame. But you may be asking, what makes you qualified to make a guide like this? Well, I've gone through 7 hours of raw Blue Simulator gameplay, 4 hours on my main account, and 3 hours on an alt account that I run together with a friend of mine. That allowed me to learn a lot of useful things that will help you on this guide. I've beaten Blue Simulator faster than Gingato, which is the guy that made the guide before I did, and I've beaten Blue Simulator 2 times, and you could count it as 3 if you count that one time I got disconnected by the end of it on my main account. You know what, enough bragging, let's get started now, shall we? So let's start off with the obstacles you'll have to face in Blue Simulator. I'll be listing the obstacles from the worst, meaning most devastating and more likely to end your run, to best, meaning you shouldn't expect this to end your runs too much. So first off, shooters. These are blocks that shoot out green beams at you. In my opinion, these are the most annoying thing to encounter in Blue Simulator. They can ragdoll you off the void, they can make you clip through the floor, which also feeds you directly to the void. They can also knock you into other obstacles, and they can even fling you if you're unlucky enough. Oh yeah, and they also have really good synergy at making you fail with Red Cube. The Red Cube is, well, a red cube, but not an ordinary one. This is literally one of your only incentives to speed up and pick up your pace in Blue Simulator. It takes 4 hits from the Red Cube in order to be taken out, which doesn't make the Red Cube forgiving either. So what the Red Cube will do is that it will spawn and follow you as soon as you spawn and join the game. The Red Cube has the ability to dash and break some parts of the floor below you, which makes the Red Cube even more annoying to deal with than it already is. Not to mention, it will probably make you panic along with the other nuisances in Blue Simulator, so just expect the Red Cube to dash at you at any second. Oh yeah, and the Red Cube also does multiple dashes to you when you're near the end, which could completely end your run. Green Granite Cubes. If you notice a green granite textured cube on the ground in Blue Simulator, absolutely avoid it at all costs. They are easy to avoid if you're on the lookout and always know their locations, but sometimes you just get caught off guard by them when you have to run from the shooters and the red cube, that you eventually touch one, and when you do, you will absolutely get destroyed. Your run is completely over. Those green little bastards will follow you to the very end until you die, so you're better off manually leaving if you touch one of them. Floating cubes. So sometimes you might have noticed that there's these weird floating cubes with different colors that spin all the time and vary in sizes. Now these are very noticeable and easy to avoid, so I like to consider them the green granite cubes but downgraded. Because at certain times you can even use them to your advantage, though I don't recommend you do that. What these floating cubes basically do is that they launch you on the angle that you come into contact with them. You probably won't make it most of the time alive, but in all honesty, in all of my runs, on all of the 7 hours, I've only gotten into contact with them like twice or thrice, so you shouldn't worry about them at all. Alright, so here's an introduction of all the items you have and how you properly use them. Accurate plate. This item is just what I like to call corn. In my opinion, this is the most crucial item in doing Blue Simulator. First of all, the utility off of its teleportation ability is incredibly useful once you've gotten good at using it. Second, it slows down shooters and the red cube, which could help you clutch up in the situation if the world generation isn't on your side. And third, after the teleportation, you could even get a bonus boost on your walk speed if you use card. Now, speaking about card, the next item. This isn't really that useful compared to accurate plate, but the utility you can get off of the double jumps allows you to easily dodge red cube when it dashes, or just allows you to save yourself from shooters or world generation if you're unlucky. Oh yeah, and using it in succession with Accurate Plate allows you to get the speed boost after the teleport too. And Compass. This item is only used in the later parts of your runs when your memory gets a little fuzzy. Arguably the most useless, but for making progress, this item will help a lot since it allows you to get yourself in the right direction to the ending area. But do note that this item can slow you down depending on the direction that you jump, so it isn't advisable to hold it out at all times. Okay, now we can get directly onto useful tips and tricks for this app. Type in /ecrash before you start your run. This will allow for your Roblox player to not crash and will allow you to rejoin faster after death. If you go fast enough, second shooter will not appear. Despite second shooter not being the most annoying, at least you won't have to deal with another shooter and can rush straight to third shooter with only world generation in your way. Practice at getting better with Accurate Plate. With how crucial Accurate Plate is in a Blue Simulator run, you should try getting better at utilizing it as you keep attempting to get to the ending area. This can allow you to evade obstacles a lot easier and get to the end significantly faster, which means the red cube won't be as devastating. Another thing with Accurate Plate is that you should use Accurate Plate as often as you can, since you know, it's the most crucial item in the entirety of Blue Simulator, so why would you miss the opportunities of utilizing it? Though don't completely spam it, that's just ridiculous unless you've completely memorized the path to the end. Memorizing the earlier parts perfectly is very important. By finding a super consistent way of getting to a certain point in Blue Simulator, you're going to make it take a lot less time to beat. Going on your own path is very important as well. Don't follow the exact route that Jingato is going and where the background footage is going. Instead, find your own path by following Compass and just trying to find a way to go. Something to note about Blue Simulator is that it is very much based on trial and error, so don't worry if it takes you a long time to beat it. And my next tip also happens to have something related to paths, which is that, if you're struggling to get progress on your current path, try out other paths. Sometimes, when you're struggling at making progress, maybe it's time to try something new. Maybe go left this time, maybe go down to those platforms, who knows? Maybe you could even find a shortcut that makes the run a lot easier to do. Don't overwork yourself in trying to beat Blue Simulator. Yeah, I know, you want to get it over with, you want your suffering to end, blah blah blah, something along those lines. Either way, it's best not to get yourself super stressed out since it could cause you to lose a lot of your consistency, which leads to less progress at the end of the day. And you shouldn't go too fast. You shouldn't be spamming Accurate Plate plus card speed boost the entire time, as you can get screwed over by the world generation quite a lot in the beginning, and even on the later parts. Not to mention, you should sometimes slow down even without the speed boost too, so that you are able to comprehend what is happening and find out what the best solution is to your current predicament. For example, encountering a gang of shooters and not knowing where to go. And that even world generation can get slow enough to where it can't even catch up with you casually walking, which brings me to my next tip. If the world generation is going too slow, and there is a shooter nearby, use Accurate Plate to slow down the shooter and red cube while you wait for the world to generate in front of you. This tip won't come in handy unless you're dealing with a gang of 3 or more shooters, but hey, better to know than be oblivious to what you should do, am I right? Do not inefficiently use Accurate Plate. What is an inefficient way to use Accurate Plate, you may ask? Well, simply holding it out for long periods of time without any shooters nearby is an example. Not to mention, you're also making yourself more prone to touching green granite cubes on top of already making yourself slower. If you feel like you're slower than the others in beating Blue Simulator, just remember it takes an average of 3 to 6 hours of raw playtime in order to get a successful run, so don't worry. Oh yeah, and whenever you feel the need to give up, all you really need is a break. It's not like you've been doing this for years. And some words from Cheese Toast, who also made a guide on Blue Simulator in the comment section of the Jingato guide and in the Discord server. I think you'll have to do enough practice. Enough to make actual progress. And only when you are capable of that can you finally learn to enjoy your stay. Alright, I wish the best of luck, player. Good luck on beating this.